Mondays
podcast.
The worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.
Topics from comic books, video games, movies, and more.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Let the game begin.
I have no date. A 2-liter bottle of Shasta and my all-rush mixtape. Let's rock.
And here's your host.
Hello, fellow Man Cave friends. It's Sideshow Bobby here. Welcome back to Man Cave Mondays. We are here at 2022. Right now, I am the only Man Cave man here. Whether other Man Cave men or not will depend if they are getting their kids into bed or not. But right now, my kiddos are in bed, and I am here talking about the upcoming 2022 movie lineup or things that I am looking forward to in 2022 that's coming to the movie theaters. We'll discuss in other future podcasts about what other things are coming up in 2022, what's coming up. But if you have a comment or tell me what you're looking for in the comments of Facebook and make a message, and we will love to talk about what we are seeing. So right now, let's go into first movie. We have our movies today. We are only going to talk about what's coming up in 2022. It might be a quick podcast because it just might be me talking about it. So here is my list of upcoming movies in 2022 I'm excited for. So if you're watching this live, make a comment and tell me what your take on or what you are looking forward to watching in 2022. Will you be venturing into movie theaters, or will you be waiting for it to come to streaming? So a lot of different things happening this year. So right off the bat. So one of the things that a lot of Man Cave men have been looking forward to is Uncharted, or not excited for, I should say. So Uncharted is starring Tom Holland as the title character, coming right off of his stint as Spider-Man and moving into video game territory. So it's one of the new video games turned movies. So want to get your take on Uncharted. So the video game franchise starting Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. So next lineup, what we're going to talk about is Morbius. Morbius is a Marvel comic book superhero character from the Spider-Man comic books. So anything Spider-Man comes from the Sony universe, getting another riding off the coattails of Spider-Man No Way Home is Morbius. So it is unclear whether Morbius takes place in the same universe as Venom or as one of the previous other Spider-Man movies. There's been hints that it's from the Tobey Maguire universe. We'll see. There's been what I've been seeing mixed reviews for the Morbius trailer. This comes out in January. So the next big movie that everyone's really excited about to see, I think, from all the new trailers is The Batman. The Batman, starting your sparkly protagonists starring Robert Pattinson from Twilight or from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. He takes place of Bruce Wayne. This is a year one Batman, more like year two. So if you ever read The Long Halloween by Jeff Loeb, it'll be that type of story, that type of mystery. So this has Gollum as his butler, not the Gollum, but I'm forgetting the name of who played Gollum, who also directed Venom, Maximum Carnage. I am forgetting Venom too. Subtitle here. Dan, if you're coming on board, come join me. Love to hear you talk about this with me. But so we have The Batman. Looks very good from the trailers. It's been coming out for 2 years. A lot of COVID stuff, a lot of drama because they said Robert Pattinson hasn't been in it. He hasn't been lifting weights or doesn't look the part. From me, it looks and sounds the part. It's very exciting. I'm hoping that to look good, and hopefully that'd probably be one of the movies I would see in movie theaters. Next up is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Again, another sequel that was very popular. Again, the original Sonic movie is the most successful video game to be made into a movie. It made the most movies so far. So Sonic 2 looking very cool. Has Tails in it this time, has Knuckles, and Jim Carrey is reprising the role of Dr. Robotnik. Though whenever I hear looking at Sonic or hearing him, I'm immediately thinking of Huey Duck from DuckTales, because it's the same actor who plays Huey Duck is the same actor as Sonic. So that's who I'm envisioning when I see the Sonic 2 trailers. So we're having the next Harry Potter franchise movie coming up, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Ooh. I haven't seen the second one of the Fantastic Beasts. They're, from my perspective, I think Universal is milking everything they got out of the Harry Potter franchise, and they're just trying to squeeze every last drop of they can to get to those books to make even more movies. So I'm not too excited about it. If it comes to HBO Max, I'll be seeing it. So that's just my opinion. Next one, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Magnus, which is the next MCU movie to come out right now, according to rumors and sources, not our sources, other sources on the internet. So there is extensive reshoots because the first version of this movie was not getting good reviews with test audiences. So they're putting a lot more cameos into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The trailer just hit at the end cap of Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, another movie riding off the coattails of Spider-Man. So this Doctor Strange comes right off of Doctor Strange. And if you've seen the Loki series from Disney Plus, and you've seen Spider-Man No Way Home, I think those are the two things you need to see, and WandaVision, because I think those are the three things you need to see that are going to feed into this movie. So and maybe the What If series. What If? So if you see those couple series, I think you're going to get the most out of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So again, that's probably a movie I will be looking forward to seeing. I was talking on one of my other previous podcasts that so Dan and I, we went to go see Shang-Chi. We saw Black Widow in movie theaters. Wasn't too impressed with it. It was okay. Wasn't too impressed. Saw Shang-Chi in movie theaters. Again, I wish I paid the $20 just to see on Disney Plus. Oh, Dan's here. Let me add Dan in.
Hey,
I was just talking about you.
You were. Can you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
So you're on a new mic today, right?
I'm on like a whole new rig, everything.
I saw your setup today. You got nice little
I got a new basement because we moved. And then what I'm broadcasting from is the new mic. I've got an actual ring light on me. That was
I didn't see that today.
No,
as a matter of fact,
I didn't have that unpacked yet. But
okay.
And then I'm running off of a new little mini computer, mini PC.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's actually running Linux, so it's like a whole lot of weird, nerdy craziness going on. So, good way to jump back into the streaming world by testing out all kinds of brand new stuff, right? So,
if whatever can happen, anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I've been going down this list, Dan. backwards and forwards. So if you wanted to come back so I was just getting to, I just was talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and all the MCU movies that we see together in person. That we saw Black Widow.
One that we haven't seen in person.
We haven't seen, which comes out. So which I didn't even get to that. That's when I let you on. So we saw Black Widow together, and we both thought it was okay. We saw Shang-Chi together, which we thought okay, and I said I would have rather paid the Disney Plus feature and watch it with you at your house. And then we did not see Eternals.
No, Eternals is the one we didn't see.
We did not see Eternals, which comes out on Disney Plus in
my daughter Lily, everyone.
Hey Lily. So Dan and I, we live close by to each other. So, and both of our kids are on winter break. We had a little sledding contest and played video games in the background right over there. So today.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Next week is when, what do you call it? Eternals.
Eternals comes out on Disney Plus. Right? Yeah. Yes.
We might have to sync up some kind of a watch party and do that together, because I don't know that I can watch these things without you now. It's just kind of a thing.
I think we could set something up.
It's just a random on the spot idea.
I don't mind that. So as long as no one has COVID, I think. Good night, Lily. But I was saying with Doctor Strange, when I was talking about Doctor Strange, there's been extensive reshoots. There's a lot of cameos being added to this movie. And I said, if you've seen WandaVision, What If, Loki, and the last Spider-Man movie is probably the homework you need to see to feed into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness to truly get the whole thing out of it. Maybe even Endgame as well. So
yeah, well, I mean, with all these leaks that are coming out, I mean, it sounds like if you've watched any movie made by or connected to the Marvel franchise even a little bit within the last
couple years,
15 years, to be honest with you, you probably will see some fun little, oh, hey, I remember that from, whatever, even if it's just a short little thing, So.
Yeah, someone was saying that they're going to see Chris Evans and oh, it's Steve Rogers, and then he's going to say "Flame on,"
and it's the Human Torch,
and he's a Human Torch. So, all right, well, whatever.
Who knows?
But let's back up. I wanted to get your take on Uncharted. Let's just going back because I'm not an Uncharted fan. What's your take on it?
I mean, I have a feeling it's probably going to be a lot like the Tomb Raider movie.
Which one?
The most recent one, where it was like, oh, that was okay. It was a competent movie. Some people think it was a lot of fun. Other people will be like, take it or leave it,
It might make a dent because, again, Tom Holland writing off of the coattails of a couple of these movies are all writing off the coattails of Spider-Man to really get their boost up. I was talking about Morbius. We don't know what Spider Universe it is. It could be there's hints it comes from the Tobey Maguire universe or the Venom universe. There's been hints from the previous movies, but are you excited about that?
Yeah, like the attention that Andrew Garfield's getting as a result of No Way Home, kind of reminding people that he actually wasn't that bad.
No,
Spider-Man.
He wasn't. I think he's too much.
And wasn't the worst Peter Parker ever either. Maybe the approach on who Peter Parker is and trying to modernize him didn't quite connect on the same level that a lot of people anticipated with the comics. But as far as the personal and emotional struggle that Peter Parker wrestles with, he nailed it. He did such a great job. And the chemistry between him and
Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire?
No. I'm
or
talking
Emma
about
Stone.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
I'd love to see them bring her back in some kind of a multiverse component and get a Spider-Gwen kind of thing going. Although I don't know if that's really her jam, but man, is the door open for her to jump in on.
I think if anyone has the money and if anyone really wants to, Sony can make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
The Batman with Robert Pattinson
Mm-hmm.
and Gollum as Alfred.
That actually intrigues me.
It looks good
Andy
because
Serkis, I don't think would do a bad job. He's a solid actor. I think.
yeah, no,
I mean, he's going to have a different take on it. I don't know the take that I don't know. Alfred's always been an interesting casting choice. In
it
every
usually defines your Batman.
in every movie, yeah. I mean, and it's interesting. Like when you had I'm thinking back all the way to the
the Michael
Tim
Keaton
Burton
era,
and Michael Keaton era, all of that sort of stuff. That was cast in a very like
traditional.
yeah, I mean,
A very traditional butler.
Presenting that take on that character was very much like the sage, old, wise advice kind of,
I almost want to say
butler
Michael.
guy. He's maybe technically working for you, but I mean, he's kind of your father figure too, kind of a thing, And to some degree, Alfred's always been that, but there was like this classic butler-esque aristocracy kind of feel to him in the originals, and then his character was like him and whoever played Commissioner Gordon were the only two that carried over through all four of those films, which was really interesting. Back then, nobody was thinking multiverse anything, or shared universe. It was more of a, we'll let them come back because people like them and they did a good job and they need a paycheck.
Right.
And we'll still make a Batman movie and we're going to cast all new, whatever. But then having, Christian Bale's Batman, that was like the casting of,
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, right? I was thinking, I kept thinking Michael Keaton. I'm like, no, that's the Batman.
Wrong Michael.
Michael Caine.
We'll talk about that other Batman later on in the list.
A perfect contrast though to the Christian Bale approach to it, I think. And then you think about like the show Gotham, that take radically different.
Yeah, no,
like, hey, this is a guy who's going to get down and out, rough and tumble dirty, and he's going to have some part to play in actually teaching Bruce how to fight. And he used to be a Green Beret, and like all like to some degree, there's kind of been stuff like that about Alfred's background, all this stuff, but they never really dived into any of it or touched on it. And he just basically it'd be a one line brief, discussion with Bruce.
I was in the Congo and
there
was this guy who
nothing that went down to the
stole all the diamonds.
Like, here's how you throw a punch, Bruce, or here's how you take a punch, Bruce, and they explored that in Gotham, which was really interesting. So yeah, Andy Serkis, I mean, and then we forgot obviously Ben Affleck, and I wasn't concerned at all
with Jeremy Irons as Alfred.
With Jeremy Irons as being Alfred. I was more concerned that hearing his voice was going to make everybody immediately think, oh, it's Scar. Like when someone's voice is so iconic to a certain thing, and it's a good guy or a bad guy, and then they take on
Jeremy,
a role
Die Hard
is right, and that's what I said. But like, you're so keen on seeing them a certain way, and then they take on a different role that is a radically different side of that spectrum. It might be hard for some people to swallow, but so I was a little concerned about whether I would be able to get past that or not myself, but it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. So I mean, I think he did really well. So I don't think it's going to be a terrible Alfred. I really don't. Andy Serkis is awesome.
And I think if they're following, it's going to be like the Long Halloween by Jeff Loeb.
It seems like.
And Tim Sale. I think it's going to
interesting blending of year
Dark
one
Knight
Batman meets
with Frank Miller
with the Long Halloween.
Halloween and
good. So
and then Sonic 2, I said, again, another coattails movie because Sonic
really
1
fun movie. When my daughter and I went to go see it in the theater, and she liked it. She really liked it. She didn't know who Sonic was, really. Played the games a couple times, but then she did, and then she wanted to play them more, which is probably the whole point of the movie. So,
but And it looks like a fun movie. And Jim Carrey plays Jim Carrey. So, and he's going to steal this movie and
stole the show. And I'm sure he'll do it again. So.
They got Idris Elba as Knuckles, right?
Oh, Idris Elba. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, again, another fun movie, and they do this right. They're gonna, they're
bringing in a lot of the classic characters that everyone was wanting to see in the original, but I think they played it smart and not dumping in too much at one time.
Yeah.
I'm wondering though, if we're going to see a bloated, overweight Eggman.
No, from the trailer, it looks
right. The trailer shows it's Jim Carrey. He's got the mustache, but at what point are we going to finally see him reach that point of being I'm wondering if his character is going to slowly through this film, and then maybe the final film, he's finally the iconic look. I think he's got the mannerisms and everything like that down, and the rivalry attitude and the arrogance and the narcissism of Robotnik. But he's not Eggman yet because he doesn't look like an egg, right? Like that's kind of the whole weird joke. So it's like, I wonder if he'll slowly get there, if they have bigger plans for that, or if it's like, well, we'll make this movie, and if it does well, maybe we'll get him there later. I don't know. I'm curious about that though.
Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. They recast Johnny Depp's Grindelwald, as I forget right now. So the guy that played Hannibal Lecter. I haven't seen number 2. Let's not get into that conversation.
I honestly didn't hate the Fantastic Beasts ones. I watched both of them. Obviously the original series around Harry was like the big deal, and anyone who's fans of those books, and you essentially grew up with the cast when they were making these movies. So there's a certain nostalgic connection with that cast and those characters and that world. I think the Fantastic Beasts series is not unlike the attitude from that community is not unlike the Hobbit movies in the Lord of the Rings and J.R.R. Tolkien community, where the people who are big fans of that universe and that world are like, why are you making a massive franchise out of this one book and then adding all this extra stuff? Like, they're like, okay, now it just feels like a cash grab, They're milking the franchise. They're making more content. They're finding little nuggets of stuff from the author or the creator to try and build more and put more in there and make it more than it needs to be. And I get why some people are a little agitated by it, because it feels like a cash grab. I think if Warner Brothers was being smart about it, they would have gone the route that Disney's doing and saying, hey, we're just going to do 6 to 8 episode miniseries about this specific character and their growth. Focus on Fantastic Beasts and the main, 2 characters in there. Or if you want to do stuff centered around Dumbledore, do a mini series on Dumbledore, or chunks of time, or however you want to do it.
Right.
But I feel like then it wouldn't feel like quite as much of a cash grab, and you got a little bit more time to be able to work with the properties and develop stuff. But maybe they honestly didn't have enough content to make it that significant. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't seem to be connecting with a lot of.
I like the first movie, but I think after the first one, I'm kind of like, why do I need to see the others? Because I know where this movie's going.
It's not like building up to,
how they got
how Voldemort eventually became to be and was the big bad guy that he was. Like it's kind of like how light, dark, and the dark stuff,
like the Star Wars.
People have always been tempted by that, and there's always some guy that's trying to push people towards that. Kind of the light side, dark side component that Star Wars is big on. But the one thing about the series, though, that I'm really upset about, though, is the Johnny Depp stuff. Like, that's the thing that upsets me the most.
Now, for those,
and for those that are not, I don't know if you're watching this and you're aware of it, I don't know how you
just keep it under a minute, Dan.
Cliff Notes version. Johnny Depp and his ex-wife now have been in a long-standing legal battle because they were essentially in an abusive relationship, and there were all kinds of accusations about who was abusing who. And turns out they both admitted to doing things or saying things that were considered abusive. And Amber Heard even admitted, and there was evidence presented that she actually faked physical abuse being done to herself. Like she did it to herself to try and essentially blame Johnny Depp for it, to then have more legal grounds to go after him. And like, it was this whole big thing. So as a result of all of that, and Johnny Depp tried to sue for reparations and get a response to clear his name, essentially, for nothing else. And that was not passed because in that he admitted to some aspects of, stuff he was accused of. But you could make the argument that it was self-defense or that she was psycho and framing it. Like, the whole conversation back and forth is bananas, right? Main point that I'm trying to make here is Warner Brothers cuts him loose from that franchise because of all of this.
And he's not getting work now.
Right. And he's out of work now. Amber Heard works on another massive Warner Brothers franchise because
which we're going to talk about in a couple minutes.
Yeah, Aquaman's girlfriend, right? She was big in that, and a lot of people on the set there said, "Yeah, she's kind of an effing psycho." All this stuff comes out, all this crazy stuff hits the fan. It shows they're both obviously not the most reputable people to be signing on for representing these iconic characters that you're trying to build a franchise around and try and present to kids and make movies for kids to fall in love with. Families go to the theater and see them. They'll cut Johnny Depp loose and they'll keep Amber Heard, and she's going to be an Aquaman too. That makes me mad, which is why I'm not going to see either of these movies. I have zero interest in seeing either of them.
And we saw Aquaman together too.
Consistency. We did see Aquaman together. I loved Aquaman.
We saw an early preview of Aquaman.
Right.
So
I'm really disappointed at the fact that they did that, and I am not going to be seeing Aquaman 2. I'm not going to do it. And you know me and DC. I love DC. I'm a huge fan of the DC franchise and properties. Up until now, I've been a huge fan of Zack Snyder and all the DC stuff. I've been excited, but as of recent, I'm thinking I might be cutting my ties with them. But we'll get to that.
Well, let's go, because I'm kind of going down in release order. If you want to skip over to the DC stuff,
no, we can go in release order.
Let's go into release order. So the next big one is League of Super Pets with The Rock Johnson.
I saw the trailers for that. That'll be interesting. There's some real big names on the cast for voiceover work and stuff. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I take my. Yeah. I think I'd wait for HBO Max, tell you the truth. I mean, I guess it kind of depends. I mean, for you, Lily, she's real big into animals and pets. She loves like The Secret Life of Pets and all of that stuff. We went to see that in theaters. She loved both of those. We saw both of those. And she's getting real big into the DC animated series of Superhero Girls, if you're familiar with that at all. Ashton, my son, loves that.
It's actually so fun. It's really good. I've actually enjoyed watching it with her. And so she didn't see the trailer for it yet, but I feel like if she does, she'll probably want to go see it. But we'll see. At the very least, we'll watch it on HBO Max.
It looks like a fun movie, so I'm not saying boo to that. That's something I've been looking forward to for the past couple of years, but COVID keeps pushing it back, is the sequel to Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, see, I'm not like, I like Top Gun. I liked Top Gun. That was the right. I don't know. I get it. I'm also kind of like,
I'm kind of like, it's been 2 years. Like, they really think pushing it back this year. And I know Tom Cruise is big on movie theaters. So,
yeah.
And
big on kind of losing steam on Tom Cruise here, too, to be honest with you. I feel like he's he makes great action movies, but he's a really weird guy.
So we'll see what Top Gun Maverick looks like.
We'll
we're both kind of iffy. I'm like, maybe we'll see it, but again, if money's tight, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Lightyear with Chris Evans. So they are making a Buzz Lightyear movie off the character. So this isn't a Toy Story movie. This is
not
the
a
character.
Toy Story movie. Buzz Lightyear is not a toy. This is the story of Buzz Lightyear that the toy was created for.
Right. Or whatever,
hey,
whatever
here's
the story is.
Whatever the story is, whether it's, hey, this is the cartoon or the show, and then they made toys. So maybe it's there might be a little bit of meta weird kind of loosely connected to the Toy Story universe. We'll see what happens. We'll see. But
it looks really well done. Good. And and Chris Evans, Captain America, is the voice of Buzz.
Yeah.
So it looks like a fun Flash Gordon Planet of the Apes type movie from the trailer, because it looks like he goes off. And again, that's one of those movies I've been avoiding because I kind of want to see it. If there's something I want to see, I don't look at spoilers.
Yeah.
So, but it looks like he goes off world. Something happens. He comes back to the future, like a Flash Gordon or Planet of the Apes type deal. Yeah. So, cool. Thor: Love and Thunder, the next MCU franchise movie.
We'll see. I was already a little upset at the fact that they already announced one of the biggest twists in the MCU, potential twists in the MCU is like new stuff. They announced it already. As a big.
What are you talking about? Is this a spoiler type thing, or is this all rumors?
No. They already announced who is going to be the new Thor.
You mean Natalie Portman?
Movie. Right.
Okay. Yeah, because that was part of the announcement.
If you watched, right, like when they announced that they were making Thor
Love and Thunder,
no, not Love and Thunder, in the comics.
They
first announced, hey, we're making Thor a female, and it's going to be a whole new storyline of how someone else is worthy to wield the hammer, and it's a woman, and Thor is not worthy right now, and will he ever be worthy again? And it's her whole story of like
Jane Foster.
And the whole time, people are reading through these series and reading these issues come out week after week after week after week, and everyone's like, "Who is it?" You know. And even in the comic, in the story, people are like, "Who are you? Like, what's your name? Like, who are you?" You know. And she's like, "I'm Thor." You know.
So let's go back. So during this whole series arc, Thor lost his unworthiness. A female character becomes Thor. She's wearing a helmet, so no one can see her face.
Nobody knows who she is,
and no one knows who this
or
new
what
Thor
makes her
is,
worthy, or any of this,
or
stuff.
anything like that.
But she's familiar with Thor because throughout the story, you see her kind of giving dialogue to herself, and she's like, "How did he do that again? How did he do that again? Oh yeah, he had this power and ability." And you know, she's kind of like getting used to taking on this role, and she starts to really like it and love it. And then at the end, they reveal who it is.
It's Jane Foster with cancer.
It's Jane Foster, and she's dying of cancer. And before the movie is even like minutes, seconds even into it being announced, they straight up announce, "Oh, and by the way, Natalie Portman is going to be Thor." Like, she's going to be Jane Foster, and Jane Foster is going to become Thor in this movie. That is, what are you doing? That's like one of the biggest reveals. You don't lead with that. Like, what? There's so much amazing content there to throw out all kinds of crazy, awesome speculation amongst nerdy fans like us, right? To be like, oh, are they going to follow the comics? Or are they not going to follow the comics? They followed the comics in this movie, but they also deviated from the comics in this movie. And like, so there are all these other women throughout the Marvel universe, and even in the Thor world, that could have easily been a part of a debate of who's the new Thor. And there's a female Thor, and it's amazing, and let's introduce it, and it's a great concept, and let's roll with that. But let's keep the reveal of which character it is a little bit closer to the chest and let people talk about it. Just like they did with the comics, right? They didn't do that at all. I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Well, that doesn't that doesn't make me angry.
Missed that opportunity.
I don't know. I'm not exactly angry about that because there's always could do twists and stuff like that.
I'm not
because
like upset, but I'm like
this
really?
and Thor Love and Thunder is a packed movie because it has the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. It's got
it
so
has all the Asgardians that are living on
that's
Earth.
what I'm saying. Like there's so many other women that
jam-packed.
are connected with this character now that they could have easily gone a different route, or if they wanted to go this route, left it up in the air as to whether or not they were until it's officially in our face and we're watching it. But
let's see what the trailers look like. The trailers are not even out for this yet. So.
I know, but if they already give away the fact that she's Thor in the trailer, I'm gonna be like,
well, let's just see what happens. I mean, let's look away from the posters.
That's as bad as the Terminator movies spoiling their endings and major plot points in their own trailers. Like, what are you doing? Anyway,
moving on. I'm like, all right. Let's next DC movie to be released, Black Adam with The Rock, another Rock movie coming out.
I'm excited about this one.
So I'm excited. It's a different take. It's and Shazam. They're still filming.
Awesome.
Yeah, The Rock is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is, how this gets expanded into the DCEU or whatever is becoming of the DCEU, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes. But we're both excited about Black Adam. I think this could be a good movie. Not far for The Rock.
The Rock as a superhero.
Yeah, and this is
that you sold me. The Rock as a superhero.
And Black Adam is the anti-version of Shazam. Jack,
he's like the anti-hero. He's like Venom to Spider-Man, basically. Like he's
anti-Shazam.
He's very anti-Shazam. He's a bad guy, but he's also
same powers from Shazam.
He can also make the right decision on occasion, maybe for the wrong reasons. Like he initially started as a villain and then they kind of morphed him into an anti-hero in the comics and some veins of it. And so not unlike Venom kind of a thing.
So we'll see where they
we'll love to hate kind of a thing.
Yeah. So let's see where that goes to. I think everyone across the board, we're all looking forward to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Part one.
You
gotta make us wait 2 whole years until the second one comes out. I mean, come on.
Because Dan loves
wait a whole freaking year to see this one. Like
Dan loves part 1s, part 2s, because tell them how much you loved Infinity War when you first saw it.
I don't like I mean, if you know for sure it's going to be a part 1 and a part 2, don't sell it like they're not. I'll just put it that way. That was anyway.
So I think we're both. But are you going to pay money to see Into the Spider-Verse?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. I mean, I'll see money to go see Black Panther, Black Adam too, probably, but
Flash.
We'll see.
Okay, let's go. Let's talk about the big one, the Flash.
Oh my gosh,
the Flash. So lots of rumors.
I want to love this movie so much, but they're making it so hard.
So the Flash is
spoiler potential.
Yeah, is
going out there is making it really hard.
Ezra Miller's coming back as the Flash.
There's several versions of him as the Flash.
And he is going, and they're going to be Flash. It's going to be a Flashpoint where he's messing with timelines. And there's
totally different approach than obviously what they did with the Spider-Man No Way Home, because it was like, these are all the different physical embodiments of the Flash that we have and all these different actors. No, they went with Ezra Miller for all of them. So even though they established the fact, well, I mean, I guess
they did establish the fact in the CW.
They did establish the fact with him showing up in the CW Flash show for like a real brief 60-second cameo, which was kind of cool. I wonder if that's going to be connected in the movie in any way, and they're going to show up. I don't know, but
I think all the big hubbub now is this is gonna reset the Snyderverse.
It's like WB is basically going, F all you restore the Snyderverse people. We are doubling down on that being officially dead.
Yeah, and they're gonna focus on other DC superhero markets, whether you love the idea or not. This will be the last time you're gonna see Ben Affleck as Batman. this will most likely be the last time you're seeing Henry Cavill, unless they're just trying to set everyone up for a big surprise. This isn't really it is, you know.
If that's
we'll
the
find
approach
out.
they're taking, then they need to take the Marvel route and just shut up and not say anything officially.
Yeah, so
not confirm anything and just let people speculate.
Marvel did the right thing, I think.
But I think it is true though, because if you are going to make this much of a huge upset, you tell people about it ahead of time. Like,
so they have it,
the marketing component to it. Like, you leak stuff like this intentionally well enough in advance so that people have time to digest it, come to terms with it. People can respond to it in a way that is appropriate to confirm or deny things and get people's mindset in the right frame of mind so they know what they're going to expect going into it to some degree, if it's going to be that much of a huge, like, game changer, you know?
Right.
But I don't know, dude. I mean, here's the thing.
There's Michael Keaton in his Batman.
I know. And some people are going, well, hey, I mean, Ben Affleck's too old to be doing this Batman thing. And I'm like, friggin' Michael Keaton is doing this Batman thing. Don't give me that. If Ben doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. It sounds like he was open to the idea of joining up with Zack Snyder to do more Batman stuff.
Yeah.
It also seemed like Henry Cavill was interested in doing it if Zack was to some degree connected with it, not necessarily directing per se, but
right.
I think the real sore spot for me in all of these rumors that are flying around is the fact that none of it is centered around any of the vision, insight, input, or understanding of Zack Snyder and how to use these characters well. Which is the most upsetting and the most concerning to me, because nearly every movie that's come out since the Justice League that has been successful to some degree or another has framed their character and the connections of it around
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder's vision for that universe, for these characters and where they would all go.
James
the ones
Wan
that have not done very well are the ones that botched, mashed up, altered, and deviated from what Zack originally had in mind. Suicide Squad.
Not the Suicide Squad.
No, Suicide Squad.
The first one. The first one.
First one,
yeah.
Right? That was originally intended to be a completely different concept that fit as a setup to Zack Snyder's movie, right?
Right.
So all the movies that have tanked intensely are predominantly because they deviated radically from the framework and vision and, as you know, just this being really genuinely branded as part of this Zack Snyder DC universe. So if they're making this much of a radical shift for everything, I'm kind of torn. Like, if they really want to remove Zack from the equation, then I guess, yeah, you got to shuffle everything out. You got to get it all out.
You got to get it out there.
That's what's going to make people upset, especially after the Justice League, the Zack Snyder Justice League was so good and so well received and did way better. It was vindication for Zack to be like, yes, this was my movie. And
Dan,
a lot of people watching it going, that's actually a much better movie than what we saw in theaters. You're right. You are the guy to do this.
How many copies do you own of Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I have one copy of it on that I got literally months ahead of time because I went online and ordered the European version of it to come to my house because I didn't want to wait 3 months for the American version to hit my door. So, and I watched it on HBO Max probably about like 6 times now. 8 times. I've seen it probably 8 times total. Anyway, I love the movie. It's his vision for these characters and everything. I feel it's starting to fit together. And so the fact that they're hitting the blender
reset button, in theory,
the fact that Zack isn't connected with it is the thing that's the most upsetting and the most concerning with me, because I would absolutely trust Zack Snyder to handle a Justice League of predominantly female-led superheroes who are going to be gods among people and know how to kick ass and also be
let's go back
really,
to that.
Really good, iconic, heroic characters that young girls can look up to and young boys. Like women can be leaders and like, don't even get me started. Anyway.
Well, no, but you got on a big point that you were kind of hinting at. I think another big thing that they're talking about is that the Flash will essentially make Supergirl the new Superman, Kara the new Superman, and then Batgirl is going to take over Batman. That's one of the big rumors, and I think a lot of people are upset with that fact, and that's one of the big rumor mills, which you're kind of alluding to.
And the reason why I think it's the most upsetting is because it kind of depends on the person. Obviously, there are the people out there who are like, "What the heck? An all female Justice League? That's a bunch of bullshit." Blah blah blah. You know, like that craziness. That's not what. That shouldn't be what bothers people. If that's what you're upset about, grow up. Right. If you're upset about the fact that they are treating the Superman role as something that can just be swapped in and out instead of Supergirl or
their own
girl being their own superhero, not taking the place of Superman, which then all of a sudden means that she's constantly in the shadow of this male character, which is their own character, right? Like, that's the thing I think that is the most upsetting for a lot of people. And it's the one thing that's the most concerning to me. Like, Batgirl is a completely separate character, has a totally separate personality, view of the world, approach to life, totally different story arc. You don't just take these characters and then decide, oh, the name Bat's in there, so we're going to replace Batgirl or Batman, and now it's Batgirl. And we're going to take Superman and make it Supergirl. Like, as if they're not, it's not just like they're totally different characters, you know? And so that, depending on how, rumors are rumors, right?
We'll see how it all comes out.
We'll see. But if it turns into like, hey, this is just some sort of cheap gender pandering, kind of thing that's not respectful of the actual characters, like Supergirl shouldn't be her own like version of Superman. Like, that's BS. Supergirl is Supergirl. Kara Zor-El, she is her own, like, don't treat her as a replacement for Superman, because Superman's Superman, right? You're not going to replace Superman. You're not going to replace Batman character-wise. They're totally separate characters.
They've tried.
They tried.
They tried in the CW. Look what they're doing right now in the CW.
I know, but, well, did they try, though? Like,
I'm not, I mean, look, I am
trying to say, hey, Batman's not around, so now I'm going to be the new Batman, and I'm Batwoman. Right.
That's essentially what's happening.
That's what they were doing in the CW. It didn't go very well. There was a lot of decisions, just creative decisions that were pushing the envelope, maybe a little too fast and too quick for some people. But in all, I feel like if it just comes across as cheap pandering to people to try and meet some sort of, hey, look at us. We're socially aware and relevant to the concerns of all people. Like, it can come across as just pandering. Great example of just like, for example, feminism as an example of just doing it well and not pandering to people, but just demonstrating it and making it be amazing, is the way that the women of Wakanda were portrayed in the Black Panther movie. Like, That's how you freaking do it. Like, those women are badass. They're passionate and they love intensely, and you don't piss them off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to sacrifice your femininity in order to be taken seriously by the men around you. They were absolutely being taken seriously. It wasn't pandering. It wasn't heavy-handed. It was just great depiction of it.
Even in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when the Dora Milaje showed up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I mean, they looked she showed up in that first scene with Bucky, and she's looking, really good. Yeah. But she was dangerous. And then they showed up. They're like, you might want to mess with me, but you don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
Yeah.
which
so that's where I feel like,
and that brings us into the next
direction they're going in. If it's going to be a true multiverse, then let it be that, and say technically these characters are still out there. There's a possibility that they could come back if it's received really, really well, and we think there's money to be made, right? Not unlike Andrew Garfield. I mean, who knew, right?
They need to leave the door open. They can't
leave the door open. Why would you close it officially, right? Yeah. Or if you're going to go, hey, there's the Warner Brothers DC universe on HBO Max, and then there's the Warner Brothers movie DC universe, and this is going to be a whole nother direction. And then there's the Warner Brothers TV and the CW universe. Like, there's so much that they could do to leave doors open for technically directors and writers
to do whatever they want,
make whatever the heck they want. And it's not at the expense of stuff that people have already made. And that's the thing I think a lot of people are upset and concerned about with this Flash potential reboot, is that it will be done at the expense of everything that everybody has fought so hard for to see come to fruition with Zack Snyder and his Justice League and that whole world. And they love it and they want to see more of it. And if this completely erases all of it, that's going to be really upsetting for a lot of people. They are not going to win people over with that.
So let's go back to the Women of Wakanda, to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So which will somehow take.
Do we know officially who the new Black Panther is going to be? Have they announced that yet or no?
No, they haven't.
There's all kinds of speculation that it'll be his sister or that
his sister or his brother, or they're bringing back Creed, which is going to be the
Oh, you're thinking Killmonger?
Yeah, they're going to bring back Killmonger because
they would. See, if they did that, I would be so upset.
I think if they say like, okay, we can bring back anybody anytime.
I think
they're not going to
do the same director. Is it the same director?
Yes, it's the same director.
Okay, he's not going to bring back Killmonger.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. Because the death of Killmonger in the first Black Panther movie was so powerful and so meaningful, and that moment between him and the Black Panther at the end, when they like share that moment of essentially
brotherhood,
understanding each other, respecting each other, fighting for the same cause, but not agreeing on how to get there, and ultimately acknowledging together that it's a cause still that's worth dying for. Like, that's powerful. If you bring Killmonger back, that cheapens that entire moment and the whole purpose of that movie. So he's not going to do that. There's no
Ryan Coogler is the name of the director.
Ryan Coogler. So, there's no way he's going to do that. I would hope that he doesn't do that. But
let's see what happens there. But I'm interested because there's a lot of, and again with the actress that plays the sister, because of all the COVID protocols and stuff, she's been making a big hubbub on Twitter. So again, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see more of it. I want to learn what's happening.
See. So I'm excited about it. Obviously, without having Chadwick Boseman back, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, they're going to have
such a good job.
Yeah, they have their work cut out for them. So we're going to find out if they're going to pluck someone out of the multiverse, after Multiverse of Madness or whatever happens.
Who knows?
Who knows what happens?
Actor that is still technically him, but he just looks different, like Parker and everything.
They did that
Spider-Man kind of thing. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But will you pay to see that movie? Black Panther. Are you going to join me?
I'll see the trailer.
Okay, we'll see the trailer.
I mean, probably. Ultimately, I'm going to wait and see trailers for the vast majority of these. But for the ones I've said yes officially to, I've seen trailers for it. So we haven't seen any trailers for the new Black Panther yet.
No, they're too far.
I'll probably be going to see it.
I saw on my list Creed 3, another Ryan Coogler movie. Creed 3, I don't know what they're going to do with Creed 3. I mean, I thought they kind of did everything with Creed 1 and Creed 2, but they're making Creed 3.
Like I thought they closed the book with 2 pretty well.
No, but apparently they're making a Creed 3, and that's coming out, this November, December. So
Rocky has his 6 film legacy, so we gotta We got to make
Gotta
a Creed
spread it out.
legacy, right?
Oh, we already got.
Before Sly can't do it anymore. I don't know. Is this? Oh, here's a weird fan theory speculation. Rocky 3 is when
they fight Mr. T.
Yeah, they fight Mr. T, but Rocky 3 is when Mickey dies.
Yeah. Oh.
I wonder if Creed 3 they're going to echo that and Sly is going to die.
Oh.
Just throwing that out here. You heard it here first, folks.
That's a theory, not a rumor.
It's a theory. It's a theory, but I also know how predictable Sly is in his movie writing. So,
yeah, they're also. I heard a rumor that they're making a Rocky prequel.
Not that he would hear this, but I love all your movies, dude. But yeah, they're a little predictable. Not bad though. I know what I'm getting when I go to your movies, and that's okay.
Avatar 2 is coming out finally.
Oh, stop it! We are never going to see these movies. It's not going to happen.
I'm not going to pay a single dime to see Avatar 2.
I'm not going to pay money to see it either.
I'm not going to see Avatar 2.
But here's the thing. I, for the longest time, have felt like this has been some kind of massive Hollywood social experiment that James Cameron was doing on all of us just to make some sort of weird documentary or something. Like those weird psychological like people studies where they invite people to come in and sit in a waiting room and then they'll do the test and it'll be like, oh, just wait 5 more minutes. And they keep asking them to wait 5 more minutes for like an hour and a half to 2 hours and see how long they wait. Right. And people go nuts. Right. Like, has this been the Hollywood version of that where we're all just kind of sitting here going, sure, there's going to be an Avatar sequel. Oh, you're making all of them. How many of them? 6 of them? All of them? 6? 5 new films. Really? Wow. Got anything to show us? Nothing. Oh. And then you didn't hear anything about it for months, years even. And then it comes out, oh, by the way, we're still working on this shit. Sure you are, buddy. Sure. I believe you. Right. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm not going to see this movie.
I'm not.
Like, the first movie was good. It was okay.
It was fine. The gimmicks.
I didn't love it. People were blown away by it. I'm like, this is Dances with Wolves meets Ferngully. Like, it's not like a brand new concept for a film. And the 3D was definitely groundbreaking, but 3D is kind of a dead thing now.
Yeah,
sorry, James. It's not something that's selling tickets and putting butts in seats anymore. So I don't know that the story of Avatar was strong enough to warrant people going to see it. The gimmick of really, really good 3D was what sold people to go see that movie over and over and over, because they're like, you can't believe how good this experience is. It was amazing.
Right.
And so people kept going over and over and over. Now it's like old hat, second nature. 3D, whatever. I'm going to keep my extra $3 and just see the regular movie. I don't know that the Avatar franchise and the story and the world that he built is big enough.
I'm not excited for Avatar.
It's probably big enough. I would say it's big enough, but not compelling enough this day and age to put people in.
Yeah, I'm not
in theaters.
I'm not. Yeah. So we've kind of briefly talked about Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. I have no idea what this movie's about. Apparently, still Amber Heard's still part of it. You said you're going to keep your dollars because you're not going to see the movie.
I want to go see it too. I really do, because I love James Wan's directing. I love his movies. I also am a huge, huge fan of this Aquaman. So, yeah. Well, I'm mad. I genuinely am upset about how unfairly they set a double standard with the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. And I'm like, well, screw it. I'm not going to see that movie now.
And the last movie I want to talk about is Super Mario Brothers with Chris Pratt as the voice of Super Mario.
I know.
So, and it's an animation, which I think is smart to do, because
for sure.
I have the live action movie of Super Mario Brothers holds a special place in my heart. It's not the best
Me
movie
too.
in the world.
It's a terrible movie.
It's a terrible movie.
It's a terrible movie.
But there's a special
Nobody
place
understands a darn thing going on in that movie, and it looks and feels nothing at all like the characters.
Special part in my heart that I wanted to see a sequel for when I was a kid.
I remember distinctly standing in line with my parents and my brother. I was probably Andrew, waiting to go see Mario Brothers, rated PG. And I'm thinking, this is awesome. Mario is the greatest. We're going to go see a Mario movie, right? And this is on the heels of like Ninja Turtles and all this cool stuff too, right? Like that whole era. So I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I went into the theater, and the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, that's not Yoshi. What is that? Like, Toad. What? How is Toad this gigantic moron that's playing the harmonica and like what is going on? I'm just the whole time I'm like, who made this movie? Have you ever played the games ever? How is this anything close to that? Yeah,
they had fireballs eventually, and
right. There are little winks and nods to references in the games, but that was like it. But here, to be fair, what exactly kind of story and world building are you doing with Mario Brothers at that point in history? Like, the games themselves didn't exactly have a lot of narrative going on to build a movie around, you know? So in hindsight, you kind of give them a little bit of credit. You're like, okay, yeah, it sucked. There wasn't much to go off of. But the route that they were going and making a movie for kids, but it was all about this like parallel unit. It was awful, but you're right. It holds a little special place in my heart now too, because the Mario Brothers and Daisy actually were pretty good. Like the movie sucked, but their roles in it were entertaining. They did the best they could with those characters in my mind.
So that's pretty much everything I could look forward to. Was there anything else not on my list?
What are your thoughts on the controversy surrounding Chris Pratt being cast as the voice of Mario in an animated movie, and not the game guy being cast as Mario? Because Mario has always been a voiceover person, and the name of the actor who voices Mario in the games is not, obviously a Hollywood movie star that sells tickets, aka Chris Pratt, right? So, but people who love the character in the games are going, he can't do that voice, and that is the voice of Mario. How do you not have the voice of Mario?
Let's just wait till we see the movie.
I felt the same thing.
Let's just see the exact trailer.
Same way. I mean, and here's the funny thing: I look at it and go, y'all do realize Ryan Reynolds voiced Pikachu, which sounded like the dumbest casting idea ever, and it was awesome. He did a great job.
You just got to give it the credit. It's
going to be different. Like, there is a level of realistic expectation you need to have going into it. It is going to be different. It sounds like he found this voice that he's giving the character that instantly sold him as the guy they wanted to cast for it. Hopefully it's not the worst, but it is going to be different from what it sounds like.
It's going to be,
I have a feeling they're holding off on the trailer until what they think is going to be the exact right moment to unveil the voice, because that's what everyone's freaking out about.
I think everything now that I think everyone's learning a lot from Spider-Man No Way Home. I think one of the things that, and I think we'll wrap this up with this conversation. I think with No Way Home, you learned how to use nostalgia the right way to use in a film. Because there's people using nostalgia, and there's too many examples of people using nostalgia in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
You have the right way to market a film where everyone knows what's happening, but they were denying. And whether officially or unofficially, they were leaking photos to get people excited about the movie. And you make a good, and you make a good script and you make it tight and you don't overbloat it because it easily could have been overbloated. There's a lot of things that
No Way Home.
No Way Home easily could have been overbloated.
Yeah.
So I think
here's the thing. I think a lot of people get worried about too many characters being thrown into a movie and that making it overbloated.
Yes,
that's not what makes it overbloated. What makes it overbloated is that you're trying to get all the characters to do so many different things and then find a reason for them all to exist and be together and come together in the end. If you find just a simple concept, not that the multiverse is a simple concept, but ultimately the concept of the movie was, hey, there are 6 people in this universe that aren't supposed to be here. They're all in New York. I got to get them back.
Right.
I can't do it by myself. Oh, that's why these other Spider-Men are here. Like, there's a lot of characters to keep up with.
No, it is
a lot of characters to keep up with, but they were all given their moment and they all had a purpose to be there, centered around one unified thread that went through the entire movie.
But the movie only works if you have an emotional connection or you at least
that's why
know
like
what
Spider-Man
happens.
3 was so bloated and like there were multiple different conflicts going on throughout the movie that you were constantly checking in between, and you kind of
because you had
a little bit of whiplash a little bit going, oh, and now we're back to Harry, and now Harry's got amnesia because he can't remember any of this in order for this to make like, and then suddenly it's, oh, now there's a Green Goblin again, oh, there's the Sandman, like,
there's Venom,
kind of and then now there's Venom. It's very like, No Way Home had a really, really solid concept and a simple premise that was the thread through the entire thing that gave every character the same reason to be there, to have their moment, to contribute, and then be out. Like, that's what made it work. You know, that's why it didn't feel over bloated. It was because all the characters were there. They had their purpose and like that's what makes it work, is the writing and the story.
Is the writing and the end. People were patient because essentially now you look at, and I think the reason Tom Holland was received better as Spider-Man for a while was because they stretched out his origin story, where Andrew Garfield, it was too much too soon coming off of the heels of Tobey Maguire.
Like, that's the thing that I think was the most encouraging for me at the end of the No Way Home franchise, or the Holmes franchise.
We'll see what
this
happens.
one, the end of No Way Home. Finally, I was like, okay, the MCU finally has a proper Spider-Man who understands the weight of what it means to be this person.
Yeah.
And the conflict that exists for every version of Spider-Man, every version of Peter Parker, of carrying that weight. Do I keep it? Do I get close to people? Do I not get close to people? Do I let them take that risk? Do I tell them so they can choose to take that risk? Do I force it on them? I don't want to do, like, that whole drama.
Yeah.
None of that was really there until this movie. The whole great power comes great responsibility thing, right? Like, the fact they finally landed there, which is the core of his character and every decision he makes. But he hadn't really experienced, apparently, that weight and loss that framed that aspect of his character moving forward. So I'm excited. I think we'll get a proper Spider-Man moving forward now.
So I think we're just gonna get a last proper Spider-Man movies moving forward.
I hope so. I think the best character the MCU has, in my opinion. So
I think we're gonna have
Marvel has, period. So
so I think that's it. I think we're gonna let go of you guys right now. We're going to try to do more podcasts.
With us.
Yeah. So we're going to be trying again, leave a comment on Facebook group. We'll repost this to YouTube and repost this on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you're listening to this on audio. So hopefully we'll get more of the Man Cave guys involved. And next time we'll talk about more stuff we're looking forward to in 2022 or the next controversy. So everyone, we'll see you later. Have a good night.
Have a good night.